There are mysteries that never rest in museums. There are treasures that don't glitter with gold, but glow with something colder, clearer, as if forged by the hands of gods. It was 1924, deep in the jungles of Belize. Rain poured endlessly through the canopy, the air thick with ancient secrets. A small expedition fought its way through the vines, led by the British explorer Frederick Mitchell Hedges and his 17-year-old adopted daughter Anna. They were searching for the lost city of Lebanton, once a great Mayan stronghold. One noon, as the sun cut through the foliage, Anna spotted something glinting beneath the rubble of a collapsed temple. She brushed away the dirt and froze. A face stared back at her, smooth, cold, and perfectly clear. It was a human skull, but not made of bone. It was carved from pure rock crystal, flawless and impossibly detailed. Every curve, every ridge matched the proportions of an actual skull, yet there was no sign of chisel or tool marks. When Anna held it up, sunlight refracted through the quartz, scattering rainbow beams across the temple walls. But when people looked into its hollow eyes, it felt as though something was looking back. That night, the camp couldn't sleep. The jungle wind howled, and Anna swore she heard whispering voices, thousands of them, murmuring in an unknown tongue, echoing from inside the skull. From that night on, the legend of the Crystal Skull Curse began. Members of the team reported strange phenomena: equipment malfunctioning, sudden illnesses, and one man collapsing in feverish delirium. Before he died, he muttered over and over, "The light, it's inside the skull." Mitchell Hedges took the artifact back to England. But from that moment, his life spiraled into tragedy, betrayals, bankruptcy, and an unexplained paranoia that haunted his final days. His last journal entry read, "Something within this skull does not wish to be awakened." When the skull was examined at the British Museum, scientists were baffled. It was carved from a single solid quartz crystal, weighing nearly 5 kilograms, completely free of any cut marks or polishing traces. Modern tools could barely reproduce such precision, even with a year of laser-guided work. A British engineer reportedly whispered, "If the Maya truly made this, they had technology centuries ahead of ours." The press went wild, dubbing it the Skull of Doom. Stories spread that under moonlight, it emitted a faint blue aura, and that anyone who stared too long into its eyes would dream of the dead, reliving memories that weren't their own. The rumors multiplied. Some said it was a Mayan relic used for rituals of communication with the gods. Others believed it came from a civilization older than recorded history. And some claimed it was an artifact left by beings not of this earth. But the most disturbing truth was this: Mitchell Hedges' skull was not alone. Across Mexico, Guatemala, and Peru, and even in Nazi Germany, other crystal skulls began to surface. Each one distinct in size and shape, yet sharing the same impossible craftsmanship. They seemed connected, as if part of a greater whole that had been scattered across time. When the second skull was found, an elder of the Maya was asked about it. He replied with a chilling prophecy: "When the 13 crystal skulls are united, the memory of the first humans shall awaken, and the earth shall be judged." From that moment, the search for the crystal treasure was no longer about archaeology. It became a race, for knowledge, for power, for something ancient waiting to be remembered. Years later, Anna Mitchell Hedges would claim that on the night she died, the skull in her possession began to glow on its own, pulsing softly, as if alive. Others said they'd seen strange reflections in its eyes, pyramids that no longer existed, landscapes no human had ever seen. A silent artifact, a buried intelligence, a treasure that, if all 13 are ever found, could change humanity forever. "This skull isn't Mayan," said one archaeologist. "It's older, far older than humanity itself. And that is where the real story begins." The Maya once said, "Before this world was born, there were crystal beings who carried the memory of the stars." No one truly understood those words until the crystal skulls began to appear. According to Mayan and Aztec mythology, there were once 13 crystal skulls, each representing a realm of knowledge. 12 embodied the wisdom of lost civilizations, and the 13th, known as the Skull of Creation, held the memory of the very first humans. When the 13 skulls are brought together, legend says they will sing, resonating with a frequency that opens a doorway between past and future, revealing humanity's greatest treasure, the knowledge of the gods. The ancient priests of the Maya believed mankind was not born, but programmed, crafted by beings from the stars. The crystal skulls, they claimed, were storage devices, archives of cosmic memory. Each time a civilization perished, one skull would be hidden away, waiting for humanity to become wise enough to remember its origins. After the famous Mitchell Hedges skull was found, reports of similar discoveries began to surface around the world. In Guatemala, a smaller skull was unearthed inside a tomb engraved with the image of the serpent god Kukulkan. In Mexico City, the National Museum displayed another, etched with the symbol of the sun, the emblem of enlightenment. But strange incidents soon forced the museum to lock it away. A night guard swore he saw light moving inside its eye sockets, as if something alive stirred within. And the German author Erich von Däniken, famous for his ancient aliens theory, claimed after touching the Berlin skull, "This isn't an artifact. It's a kind of device, but we don't yet understand what it does." By the mid-20th century, more than a dozen crystal skulls had been documented across archaeological sites from South America to Tibet. Some vanished during wars, others disappeared into private collections, never to be seen again. During World War II, the Nazi organization Ahnenerbe, devoted to occult research on the Aryan origins, launched secret expeditions to locate the skulls. Declassified documents suggest that Hitler believed these artifacts contained a form of ancient energy capable of influencing matter and the human mind. One expedition allegedly retrieved a skull from South America in 1943 and brought it to Berlin. When the war ended, it was gone, vanished without a trace. Witnesses later testified that when Soviet troops entered Berlin, they discovered in an abandoned SS bunker a crystal human head locked inside a reinforced steel case. But when investigators returned the next day, the case was empty. So who was collecting them? And for what purpose? In the early 21st century, archaeologists and mystics once again turned their eyes to the legend. A Peruvian team led by Dr. Elena Morales uncovered an ancient carving depicting 13 crystal heads arranged in a circle, with a symbol of the all-seeing eye at the center, representing ultimate knowledge. Beneath the carving was an inscription in ancient Mayan script. When mankind forgets its origin, the skulls will speak. When it remembers, the skulls will fall silent. Some researchers now believe the 13 skulls are not merely artifacts, but a coded map of consciousness, each emitting a distinct energy frequency capable of resonating with the others. Like 13 data modules scattered across the Earth, waiting to be reactivated together. Treasure hunters call it Project Resonance, a secret mission to reunite the skulls and unlock the gate of ancient knowledge. Mayan prophecies warned, the day the 13 skulls sing as one is the day humanity hears the voice of its own extinction. If someone truly seeks to gather all 13, they are chasing more than treasure. They are pursuing a force that could alter the fate of the world. And if the prophecy is true, the crystal skulls are not a gift, but a warning, a reminder that the greater the knowledge, the higher the price. When scientists began analyzing the skulls, they discovered something far more terrifying than myth. No known ancient or modern technology could have made them. When legend collides with science, only two outcomes are possible. Either mythology collapses, or our understanding of the world is rewritten. And in the case of the crystal skulls, the latter happened. In 1970, the British Museum and Hewlett-Packard's Precision Instruments division began a series of tests on the Mitchell Hedges crystal skull. The results left the scientific community stunned. The skull was carved from a single block of pure quartz crystal, with its molecular axis running vertically, from the back of the head to the crown, an orientation almost impossible to cut without shattering the crystal. There were no tool marks, no signs of modern grinding or polishing. And most baffling of all, the surface scratches revealed that the carving had been done against the natural axis of the crystal, something that even modern diamond tools cannot achieve without breaking it. The project's lead engineer, Frank Dorland, could barely believe his own findings. If this was made by hand, he said, It would have taken someone at least 300 years of non-stop work, and they couldn't afford a single mistake. When Dorland shone a laser beam through the skull, the light didn't scatter randomly as it should through quartz. Instead, it reflected in a precise cross pattern between the eye sockets, as if it was designed to focus energy, Dorland whispered. Beyond its structure, the skull seemed to emit a faint electromagnetic field, oscillating at low frequencies similar to human brain waves in deep meditation. Placed in a sealed chamber, compasses drifted slightly, electrical devices flickered. In 1983, researchers in California recorded something even stranger. When two crystal skulls were placed side by side, their electromagnetic resonance doubled in strength, as though they were communicating. One psychologist involved in the study later admitted, "I don't believe in mysticism, but when I stared into that skull, it felt like something stared back. That night I dreamt of a city of light, made entirely of crystal, floating in the sky." From then on, many began calling them the memory cores of the earth, crystals that might store not only energy, but information, emotion, and perhaps consciousness itself. Modern laboratories have tried to replicate a skull of equal perfection. Every attempt failed. Laser cutting cracked the quartz. Mechanical grinding distorted the light refraction. Nothing could reproduce the flawless transparency and mirror-like sheen of the originals. In 1995, a Paris research group led by Dr. Frederick Bastian published a shocking report. No technology prior to the 19th century could have produced such objects. Yet the crystal's molecular age dates back thousands of years. If the ancient Maya didn't make them, then who did? Quantum physicists have long known that quartz can store information through atomic vibrations, much like how computer drives record data via electrons. If an ancient civilization truly understood this property, they might have encoded knowledge directly into crystal structures, creating living archives of consciousness. One bold hypothesis claims each skull functions as a data vessel, and when all 13 are united, they will reconstruct the complete memory of Earth, its history, its science, its energy, and perhaps its creators. This may sound like fantasy, yet the principle is real. In 2013, scientists at the University of Southampton successfully stored data in nanostructured silica glass, creating a memory medium with an estimated lifespan of 14 billion years. If modern humans can do it now, could someone, long before us, have done it first? When science cannot disprove, it often chooses silence. The debate surrounding the crystal skulls split the world. Some saw them as ancient spiritual devices. Others claimed they were extraterrestrial relics. And the scientists who handled them simply said, they shouldn't exist. But they do. At a 2007 symposium, American archaeologist Richard Andrews made a chilling remark. If these skulls are fakes, it's the greatest hoax of all time. But if they are real, then human history must be rewritten from the ground up. That night, as if to answer him, the museum's surveillance cameras captured something extraordinary. A soft blue light pulsing from within the eye sockets, spreading across the glass case like wings unfolding in slow motion. No one could explain it, but everyone present that night whispered the same thing. When you gaze into the skull, you don't just see the past. You see yourself, your oldest reflection. If the 13 skulls truly hold the wisdom of an ancient intelligence, then the final question remains. Who left them here, and why? There are secrets that were never meant to be solved, because once the door opens, humanity itself may never be the same again. For centuries, the legend of the 13 crystal skulls has echoed through the jungles of the Maya, the temples of the Aztec, and the highlands of the Inca. Each culture carried only a fragment of the story, as if someone had deliberately scattered the pieces across time and land. The Maya whispered, when the 13 skulls are united, time will cease. The gate between worlds will open, and mankind shall witness what was lost at the dawn of creation. The Aztecs told a different tale. They are the treasure of the star gods, left behind when the heavens departed, a promise that they would one day return. The Inca believed the skulls were keys of energy, binding the spirit of man to the soul of the earth. Whoever could awaken them would command the very breath of the planet. Throughout the 20th century, explorers and dreamers alike hunted for the missing skull. Some claimed it lay buried deep within the Guatemalan jungle. Others swore it was sealed beneath the pyramid of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza. In 2008, an independent team led by researcher Elena Ramirez announced the discovery of a natural quartz cavern in Belize. Its walls shimmered with a faint blue glow, as though alive. At the center stood a spiral stone altar, etched with 13 crystal skulls. Beneath the final carving, an inscription in ancient Maya read, "Unite them, and truth shall take form." But that night, a violent storm struck without warning. Magnetic readings spiked. A blue radiance poured from the cave, lighting the rainforest as if it were day, then vanished. When the team returned, the altar had split in two, and the 13th carving was gone. Later, Elena said softly, "It felt as though something, or someone, had taken back what was theirs." In the archives of the Mexico City Museum lies a decaying field notebook dated 1924. Its author, a German archaeologist named Otto Klein, claimed he once saw the 13th skull, a crystal streaked with veins of red, like living blood, in the hands of a Jesuit monk in Peru. Klein wrote, "He told me it was not made, but born. When the full moon touched it, it pulsed like a heart, breathing light." Days later, Klein vanished without a trace in the Andes. No body was ever found. Only his notebook remained, its final page scrawled with trembling ink. The last skull is not upon the earth. It waits to be awakened. In 2012, the supposed end of the Mayan calendar, scientists at Stanford University detected a repeating electromagnetic pulse emanating from central Belize near the same coordinates of Elena's discovery. The signal appeared every 13 days, lasting exactly 7 minutes, then disappearing. The frequency matched the resonance of the Mitchell-Hedges skull's quartz structure almost perfectly. When the same signal was projected onto the skull, sensors recorded an internal glow forming a 3D star map, one that aligned precisely with the constellation Lyra. The physicist watching the readout whispered, "If this is coincidence, it's the most impossible coincidence imaginable." According to ancient Mayan lore, the 13 skulls were never meant to be mere relics. They were vessels of consciousness, 13 fragments of the memory of Earth's first people. Each held a domain of knowledge, energy, healing, language, memory, time, and beyond. Only when united would humanity be illuminated, or destroyed by the knowledge it could not contain. An inscription found at Copen reads, "On the day man unites the light of the 13 spirits, the old world shall dissolve, and a new one will rise." To this day, no one can confirm the 13th skull's existence. Those who claimed to have seen it vanished or refused to speak again. Some say it lies hidden deep within the Vatican's secret vaults. Others insist it was seized by the U.S. military in 1945 during a covert operation in the Philippines, after soldiers reported a strange energy field underground. Yet a few independent researchers offer another theory. The 13th skull is not an object at all. It is the human mind itself, the living key that can awaken the 12 others. The skulls remain silent because humanity is not yet ready to listen. Today, the crystal skulls rest quietly in museums, private collections, or lost corners of the jungle. They no longer speak, but they have not faded. Under the light, they still gleam with a clarity so pure it feels almost alive, as though waiting for their moment to return. A historian once remarked, "Perhaps these skulls are frauds. But if they are lies, why do they make us dream of a truth greater than ourselves?" In a dim chamber of the Smithsonian Museum, a crystal skull sits behind a wall of glass. As the curator left for the night, a surveillance camera caught one final image. A flash of light from the skull's hollow eyes, casting a glowing phrase across the wall, "We are returning." No one knows if it was an optical illusion or something else entirely. But from that night onward, everyone who had ever studied the crystal skulls agreed on one haunting thought. Perhaps the real treasure isn't made of gold or stone, but of memory. The memory of humanity itself, encoded in crystal, waiting to awaken. If ancient intelligence truly sleeps within stone, how many other secrets still lie beneath our feet, waiting for the right gaze to bring them back to life?